Welcome to the Pushing Limits podcast, where we explore the people, places, and products that are pushing the limits. I'm your host, Rich Vargas. All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of the Pushing Limits podcast. I'm here today with my boy, Angelo Panayiotou. He is the owner of Ventana Dive Center in beautiful La Ventana, Baja California. And what's going on, brother?
What's going on, dude? Thanks for having me out, man.
Dude.
This place is sweet. I'm loving it, man.
Yeah,
Baja's
man.
been awesome.
So we've been boys for a couple years now, man. Obviously, the dive community, it's a small community, especially when you get to, the more extreme spearfishing and stuff like that.
Totally.
And we linked up, started doing some diving, and man, dude, you run a top-notch operation down here.
Yeah, man. I'm super stoked on it, dude. Just kind of been going after it since I got here in Baja, finding the fish and bringing fish back up. It's been epic, man.
Dude, so tell us a little bit about yourself, man. What's your story and how'd you end up, living down here in Baja?
Oh, that's a funny one. So what had happened was I was living in Maui, and I was doing Maui for like 6 months and then move out to Thailand, do Maui another 6 months, move back to Thailand. I was just doing this switch, teaching like diving out there.
Where were you at in Thailand?
In like Koh Tao, a little island called Koh Tao.
That's
awesome little beautiful spot. Love that place to death, very dear to me. And I just do 6 months, just being like a dive hippie, right? Well, I put my notice in. I gave my company like a 2-month notice, and I was like, all right, I'm moving back to Thailand. I saved some money, going back for sure to Thailand. And as like the 2 months notice, I gave them 2 months, and then it came down to like the 3-week part. COVID hit, boom. And so COVID then just shut us all down, right? And at that point, when COVID hit, I was like, man, what are we gonna do, right? Like we were like just hanging out. We didn't have any work. We were just spearfishing every day in Maui, which is like super tough conditions out there to be fishing, but really nice, kind of gnarly, just walking down all the hills and everything, big mountains. You're doing an 1.5-hour hike into your dive spot, 1.5-hour back with the fish this big, But always really good time. And then I was there the whole time for COVID in Maui for COVID. And I had a girlfriend at the time. She was Canadian, and she was hanging out with me cruising. And she had like 6-month visa, and it was expiring. So we had to like get out of the country. We didn't know where we were gonna go. Mexico was the first place that opened up. And then one of my buddies, Nico's dad, was out here with his family, and he's like, dude, you gotta come out here to Baja and check it out. We're in Cabo. This place is great. You should come check it out. So I made this master plan of I was gonna go to Tulum, become a cave dive scuba instructor, and that was my idea. Right? Yeah. Came out here to Cabo, really liked it. We went fishing a couple times. I was like, man, this place is sweet. And then we went over to La Ventana, the little town that I live in now, and we got out there. I met my captain, who's been my guy like for the last like 6 years now. We got on the boat with him, and it's me and my buddy Nick Shaw, and we're like cruising on the boat. We're like, man, this is it. This is our big spearfishing adventure. And the captain takes us about an hour away, puts it in neutral, and says, Wahoo. And we're like, what? I'm like, there's no way this guy just stopped in the middle of the ocean and there's going to be wahoo here. So we both jump in, fall backwards, get in there, and there was like 10 different wahoo hanging out. My buddy Nick shot one, I shot one, and we were just so stoked on life. We're like, my God, is this place real? Is this like real life? This guy just went and dropped us off. So we went ahead and shot some wahoo. We went ahead and shot some pargos, some groupers. We saw so much fish, so much marine life here. I was like, man, I've been searching for a long time. Been all over the world now for a place like this. That the marine life's so good, it's diverse, warm waters. I was like, I might as well just kind of stay here in La Ventana. So I was pretty much just doing a 6-month spread where I'll do 6 months in Baja, and then I'll go 6 months out in Thailand and just kind of going back and forth.
Damn, that's the life right there.
That was the life, man. I was stoked.
I lived in Thailand, man. I was there for almost a year in Koh Tao.
You're in Koh Tao?
Yeah, dude. I did my dive master there, Simple Life.
Yeah.
It's funny. I mean, you meet so many people within the dive community. It's like, all right, they're either in Honduras or they're in Koh Tao. Yeah. Like at some point they live there,
Yeah. Life is easy out there, right?
It was so much fun.
Yeah.
It was so much fun, dude. I was living off of like $30 a day.
Easy.
And I was the big dog on the block. I had like a 250 fucking dirt bike, and everyone else got their little fucking, little scooters and shit. Totally. So I'd take off and we'd go like single track trails, and the diving, that wasn't the greatest spearfishing, but the diving was great, man.
Yeah.
I mean, you go out to, what was the pinnacle called out there?
Champon.
Yeah, Champon. Yeah, man. I mean, I loved it. Southeast Asia, dude, was fucking epic. We went out to all the different countries out there and all that. But That's sick, man. So you started going back and forth, 6 months on, 6 months off. And were you doing mainly spearfishing, or like were you doing the scuba diving stuff at the time?
So I was teaching for a different company, the scuba diving here in Baja, right? And I was teaching for them, but I was spearfishing all the time with me and my buddies. A good community of spearfishermen here, and like we just go out we're just bored in the summers, and we'd go out like 5 days a week, just go fishing, right?
Oh yeah.
And so we just kept doing it, and then I was like, well, I guess we're getting kind of good at this, right? We know all the spots now. Might as well just kind of like start taking other people diving out here and start showing them what's going on around here.
Right.
So it kind of slowly transitioned from all the boys just hanging out, fishing the area to, all right, now I have like one customer who wants to go out and they want to go fishing, or I got some buddies who want to come and go fishing. It transferred from that into like, all right, now there's people from around the world in our network who they're contacting me all the time. They're like, oh, I want to come there for a week, or I want to come there and shoot wahoo, or I want to do like this type of adventure. And I was like, wow, it's kind of like forming into a little bit of a business now, right?
Yeah.
And that's kind of how it started to form. And it was funny because we opened up a website for it. I was like, we opened a website. I don't think anyone's going to even book, And I went ahead and then took off and went back to Thailand. And while I was in Thailand, people were booking. I was like, whoa, the internet works, right? I'm like, the internet works. I got my good buddy Mark. He's a spearfishing guide out there as well. And I was calling him, hey, dude, 3 people want to go spearfishing. You want to take them? He's like, yeah, I'll take them. And then we also do like safaris where we go out and look for like whales, and we also do scuba diving. So it's a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
And then so kind of when I was like in Thailand, maybe like 3 years ago, the business actually started building while I was away. I was like, wow, that's really cool. And then after that, it came back and it just kind of started building more and more and more, where we just kept, there's me, Mark, a couple other guides, and we just kept going after it. So.
And now you guys have built to the point, you got what, 8, 9 boats now?
Yeah, so it's more of like our captains.
Yep.
So we work with the captains, and our family that we have, they have access to like 6 boats, and then their cousins have another 3 boats.
Right.
And if we need any other boats, some other locals, like kind of in their family range, will help us out with the boats.
Right.
But yeah, we could like kind of run charters up to like that capacity. With the boat business, everyone's like, oh yeah, you should buy a boat and you should have your own. And you're like, no. That's the wrong business to get into in Mexico. You kind of want to go local captains.
Yeah.
Let them run the boats. They know the spots. They know where the fish are, and they know the conditions and everything. They're just way better at that than we would be with a boat. So yeah, that's kind of how we do it with the boats out here.
Epic, man.
Yeah, and it's awesome because like we have like a network all over Baja, right? From like coast to coast, different sides, and like the weather's not on one side doing good, and we'll just call the captain on the other side and be like, hey, how's it look out there? He's like, yeah, it's looking pretty good. Get over here.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit easier than trailering a boat around town.
And La Ventana is also a big kite surfing destination as well, right?
Yeah, it's a huge kite surfing destination. So like 6 months a year, that's where it kind of gets a little tricky, because it is kiting. It is a north wind that comes in, can come in like 30, 40 knots sometimes, which is awesome for kiting. But then when we talk about the diving aspect, sometimes you have to kind of like readjust your plan, right? You're like, oh, there's 40 knots of wind here. We then have to move to the other side of Baja and kind of go fishing over there for a couple of days, and then maybe move wherever the wind's not, or just doing it early in the morning, right? You're like leaving at like 5:30 in the morning. You got a 7.5 wetsuit on, and you're going out there and you're kind of hunting like yellowtail and amberjack and stuff like that during that time period.
And that's the cool thing about being in La Ventana. For those of you who don't know where La Ventana is at, it's centered, right there in the East Cape, about an hour-ish away from La Paz, maybe hour 30, 2 hours away from Cabo. So you're in a pretty good spot to be able to hit, not only the Pacific side, but the Sea of Cortez. And during the sardine run, you also do Mag Bay trips too, right?
Yeah, the Mag Bay trips are awesome, man. A little bit about that is like, so on Mag Bay's side and the sardine runs, they run all up and down the coast, right? So we kind of get reports from the fishermen where they're at, and you're in these like little Mexican pongas and you're ripping it out like 1, 2, 3 hours. And on the way out, you're just kind of looking for the birds dropping, right? And whenever you see the birds start dropping, you kind of get over there and you'll see all the sardines at the surface. You hop in the water and there's like thousands of sardines, and then you have the marlins out there attacking them as well. With the marlins, like they could be like 15, 20 blue marlins over there, all attacking the same bait ball. Then you have the sea lions attacking them, and then you got the dolphins coming in and the birds, and it's like it's like something I've never seen in my life.
Yeah.
You know, if you're talking about just for like safari where you just want to go look at it, or if you're fishing for Dorados or Wahoos, to get in a phenomenal like that is just absolutely insane.
I mean, it's absolutely Nat Geo,
Yeah.
you know, and then it's to the point where it's so good. The last time I was out there was 2 years ago. Whereas like we're being so picky with the Dorados, it was like anything under 35 pounds we were even touching because it was just that thick. Mm-hmm. It was absolutely next level, man.
The year that you guys went out there was like the best Dorado season anyone has ever seen in Baja.
Yeah,
that was incredible. Like you can go in there with like a slingshot and hit a Dorado. You know what I mean? We were hand feeding the sardines to the Dorados. We were like, here, you want it? And they just come right up to your hand and take a sardine from your hand. You're like, this is intense, man.
Yeah, this place is absolutely incredible. And then you also have got Saralvo right there too, which, I mean, the reef diving and stuff like that. I mean, big pargos, big grouper, you know, you get a little bit of everything there. It's just...
Totally. I love it, everything, and then it all moves too, right? From the winter and the summer. So it's just interesting to see. You're like, okay, right now the wahoos are in, and then you're like, okay, the water's getting colder and the yellowtails start coming, and then the thermocline there is really interesting, right? Because the thermocline, you'll get down in the thermocline, and sometimes it's at 40 feet or 20 feet or 50 feet, wherever the thermocline's at. But you get in there and it gets cold, right? So I'll be wearing a 5 mil sometimes in the summer, and everyone's like, oh, aren't you hot? I'm like, yeah, but when you jump into that thermocline, you get cold, and it gets like sometimes bad visibility, but there's fish there. You get in there and you're like, whoa, there's 40 yellowtail in here. You don't even know what to do when you're down on some of those drops. Like bad visibility, and with the bad visibility, the fish come right up to you.
Yeah.
Right? So they'll come right up. They're interested. They don't know what you are or what's going on there, and they'll literally come right into you.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, but Saralvo's an incredible spot to go dive at.
This episode of Pushing Limits is powered by Pacific Icon Yachts, your go-to center console dealer from California, Costa Rica, Baja, and Hawaii. We deliver more than just yachts. We deliver legacy. Join us at pacific-icon.com. So living in, you've lived all over the world, man. You're in Thailand, you're, Hawaii, and now here in Baja. I mean, what are some of the challenges that, you face living in Baja California, specifically La Ventana, being that La Ventana is still, it's growing, but it's still Baja. It's not Cabo San Lucas.
Yeah, I have to say, man, one of them is going to be like getting anything shipped to Baja. What a nightmare it is, you know what I mean? Like if you're like, oh yeah, I need a new spear gun, right? You have to go through like an importer, and then the importer might bring it in 3 weeks or something like that. You might have some import fees. So getting anything down into Baja, huge problem.
Yeah.
Car parts, the whole nine, that's one of them. And then the second part about Baja is we have so much different on the weather, right? The weather's just so different out here, where like one day it's beautiful and there's nothing really, there's lots of really good fishing, and the next day it's blowing 40 knots out there.
Right.
So you really just have to like adjust your plan for fun in Baja to what the weather's doing every day.
Right.
So you're like, oh, it's coming in 40 knots. We got to go ahead and get in the car, do a 4-hour drive to the other side, and then we got to go ahead and kind of like finish out our mission out there.
Right. Yeah. Now, what are some things to do outside of the water?
Outside of the water, Baja, I mean, you have ATVing you can do out here. We got some cool waterfalls out here, dirt biking. I mean, this place is like a playground, outdoor playground, you can go mountain biking if you want to. It is small though, right? So Baja's small. You have to make your own groups, and you have to have like your own fun that you have personally ready to go out here. You can't just come in with no plan, right? You gotta have some mountain bikes, you gotta have some dirt bikes, some ATVs and stuff like that ready to roll.
So as long as you like the water and you got the toys, man, this is an absolute paradise.
Totally.
Hell yeah, man. So guiding, man, there's always going to be like situations that come up. What are some situations that you've been in that were either a little sketch or like some cool stories of guiding out here in Baja?
Yeah, I got a couple really good ones. We're going to limit them down. You have the shallow water blackouts. That's always a scary one. Then you got the mid-water column blackouts, also scary. And all these happening, it's kind of like the location you're at. When any of this happens, it's like, man, we're not 20 minutes from a hospital, right? I mean, of course, we'll have our oxygen tank and we're ready in that port, but you're looking at like if something goes wrong out there, you're 4.5 hours away, right? You're like another 1.5 hour boat ride in, and then like another 2.5 hour car ride to the nearest hospital. So that's the first thing about it. It's just you got to be safe out here, really be prepared, because there's no real help out here. You know what I mean? And then on the story part, oh boy, I got a funny one. So long time ago, I bought a boat for $1 in Ensenada. I sailed it here. We'll talk about that later. But I was running spearfishing charters, and I'm running my first spearfishing charter on the sailboat. I'm like, this is great. I got my own sailboat. We're going to go to Soralvo, and we're going to shoot some fish, and it's going to be awesome. So we bring these two, this guy, him and his girlfriend, and then our other two friends, because they're all friends, and we bring them. And, this girl was really excited to shoot some fish, right? And I was like, all right. I went down in a little cave, I saw a nice little one. I was like, cool. I'm going to bring her down. I'm going to shine the light for her, and I'm going to let her shoot the fish, right? It's like 20 feet deep, no big deal. And I look at her, and I look at her boyfriend, and I say, hey, me and you are going to go down. I'm going to show you where the fish is, and you're going to shoot it. And she's like, all right. Yeah, sounds good. And so I should have had her like D-band one gun, looking in hindsight, because she was on 2 bands on there.
Yeah.
But it was all right, So if we go down there, we find the fish. It's kind of like the reef is here, and we're down in the sand, and she shoots, and she hits the fish perfect, right? Hits it, and then hits the rock, and it ricochets to the other side. And I'm like, all right. And I grab the shaft and the line, or just the line at the shaft, and I start pulling it, and it's kind of like pulling back. And I was like, well, that's weird. I'm like, did it go in and hit another fish? I was like, because I can see the fish here, and I'm pulling, it's kind of pulling back. I was like, well, that's weird. I was like, well, you know what? We'll just leave this one tangled, and we'll come back in the next one, right? And so her and I, we swim up, and I give her a high five. I'm like, good job, you got that fish, And then her boyfriend comes swimming up, and he goes, someone shot me in the leg.
Oh, shit.
I was like, what? Because I seen her hit it. I seen it hit the rock and ricocheted all the way through. And I was like, what do you mean someone shot you in the leg? I was like, there's no way. Like, I saw it. I was there. Who shot you in the leg? And what had happened was this right here. I told him to be our safety diver, right? I was like, hey, you be our safety diver. Her and I are going down. We're going to go fishing. And that's how it's going to go. Well, he decided that he was going to go to the other side of the reef that we were shooting in to see the fish when we were down. So we're down. He decides after we go down that he's going to go down the other side. And when the shaft hits the fish, it ricochets, hits him right in his calf, and goes all the way through but doesn't deploy. And I guess when I was pulling, he was also pulling and pulled it out and then came to the surface.
Was it a flopper or a slip tip?
It's a flopper.
It had to.
Thankfully.
God damn.
I know, dude. It was intense, dude. So I'm like...
Single flopper?
Uh-huh.
And it didn't fucking catch.
It didn't catch.
Wow.
I mean, if we would have caught it, it would have been really bad.
Oh, yeah, you would have been fucked.
It would have been real bad day. I mean, unless he was really quick and cut the line and got out of there. But yeah, the guy definitely got shot.
God damn.
So we're up at the surface, and I'm like, all right, time to do my rescue swim and bring him back to the sailboat. So I take him back to the sailboat, and I go ahead and get him, and the whole team pretty much gets him up on there, and we're looking at his leg, and it's not too bad.
Yeah.
Not too bad, but he definitely got shot in the leg.
Bleeding control, didn't have to tourniquet or anything
Nothing like that.
Yeah.
It hit nothing. It was literally just a flesh wound in and flesh wound out. And it was just a clean in and out. Kind of like if a 22 went right through your leg is what it looked like.
You got lucky.
You got super lucky.
Fuck, man.
But now we're in Soralvo, and it's like, on my boat,
You're on a sailboat.
I'm on a sailboat.
Oh my God.
There's no wind, and I think I had like a 15 horsepower outboard engine power.
Get the oars out.
Oh, yeah, right. And so we start cruising back, and we're cruising back at 5 knots. It's gonna take us like 2.5 hours to get back. I'm like, oh man, this is gonna be a good one, a good one. And on the way back, the guy wants to tell me his story of how he met his girlfriend. I was like, oh, all right. Go on. I guess this is the time. He's like, yeah. She was dating my best friend of 14 years. I was like, yeah. And he's like, but then my best friend had another girlfriend. So I kind of told her that he had another girlfriend, and she got upset. And then we started dating. And I was like, wait a minute. So you burned your relationship of 14 years with your boy, and then took the girl, and then she shot you in the leg in Mexico? It's like, dude, I don't know what karma is, but this is just about it, We're together, we're cruising on back, and I just couldn't stop laughing. I was like, man, I don't know what's going on here, but this had to happen.
For a reason.
And then why it came out of my clock, I don't know. Another funny thing about that is we had it on film.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Dude,
I got
do
it.
you still have it?
I still got it.
We
It's
gotta see
deep
if
in
we
my
can-
computer, like 2018 or something, but I got it.
Dude, we should see if we could clip it into this.
That'd be very funny. I'd tell you what not to do spearfishing. You know?
I mean, yeah, dude, safety obviously when I run any type of trips, or for all of us, right,
Yeah.
is number one, man. That's like my biggest fear. Is
Totally.
like, something like that happening. Luckily, you guys got lucky, but
Yeah.
fuck, man. I've had definitely a couple close calls with like blackouts and like getting wrapped up and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But, yeah, dude, I mean, it definitely happens. You hear, guys either getting shot or fucking stabbing themselves while they're trying to fucking kill a fish or, all sorts of shit. But,
Totally.
dude, I had a close call, kind of similar to that with my own fiance.
Really?
Yeah, dude. And so every time, obviously, we go out and we do a trip, like I do my safety briefings, right?
Totally.
Any charter I run, like you put the fucking professional hat on and the guide hat on. All right, guys, like this is how we're going to treat these guns. All right, they're like loaded weapons. You guys get fucking one warning. If you flash me with this thing, you're out of the water. You know what I mean? And I kind of go through that whole song and dance. So we're out one day and it's just me and my boys, and I brought my fiance Ashley along with me. And, she had been she usually snorkels around as I'm diving and stuff. And she had never like shot a fish before. So then, we're coming up to a kelp patty. I see a bunch of Dorado yellowtail on it. So we're like, oh, fuck yeah. Okay, cool. I was like, hey, do you want to shoot one? She's like, yeah, I'll try. Sure. Fuck yeah.
Great.
I've never done it. And just not thinking like the comfort level because it's with her, like I didn't give her the rundown at all.
Yeah.
Never held a spear gun, never anything before. And I was just, all right, come on, let's go. Like in my mind, just not thinking like, oh, we'll just shoot, we'll be fine. So we get in the water, I fucking hand her a loaded K55 and fucking...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
With the K55.
Yeah. Two band, it's perfect. It's a perfect kelp patty gun.
Cool.
So we're in there and fucking this thing's loaded. Ton of mahi, right? And she's fucking, first things first, she gets it. She's kind of like pointing it at me and like finger on the trigger. I'm like, all right, hold on 1 second. Gave her the quick rundown, but it was like the first thing she did is like kind of like pointing it, and I'm like, no, that's my fault, not hers, right?
Totally.
So give her the quick rundown, and then the mahi are kind of doing the big circles around the patty. They come right in front of us. She like lines up, and I'm just like, stop, hold on, stop. Because obviously the mahi, dude, they're so fucking tender. Like I don't want your first fish to tear off because I see the yellowtail right underneath the patty. I'm like, look, these things are big, and they're gonna hold a lot better with this fucking shot. So sure enough, I'm like, don't ignore the mahi, let's go. And we go forward, and sure enough, dude, first time ever holding a spear gun, ever in the fucking water with a gun, fucking plugs this thing fucking center. First time ever pulling the trigger on a gun.
Good for
Shot fucking stones the thing, dude. Like,
sick.
So it fucking kind of gets wrapped up in the kelp a little bit because she's fucking. I was in disbelief. Like we got it on video. We just have me like fucking screaming. I'm like, oh, like so fucking stoked. You know what I mean?
My wife's a shooter, man.
Dude, like fucking. I'm like, what the fuck? How many times did you go out with like a Hawaiian sling or like a shitty fucking like rife gun or something? And you're just trying to get one, and so much trial and error. Like first shot, just plug, and it was 25, maybe 30 pound fucking yellow. It was solid.
Yeah.
We got fucking a big picture above it above our couch now and stuff. So plugs this thing. So everything, I mean, she's still like kind of getting into it. She's like, well, I don't really want to kill it. Like, I'm like, well, you just shot it. Like, all right, fuck. We'll deal with that. Let me deal with it. So I go, I'm kind of getting it tangled out of the kelp, but she's kind of looking at me, and there's two fucking 250 plus pound molas right there. So she's kind of playing with the molas and stuff, hanging out with that. And I'm fucking around, and I'm kind of obviously got my wits about me, kind of paying attention. My boy on the boat is kind of like silently trying to like go do one of these. He's like one of those. And I'm like, what the fuck? Dude, fucking 12-foot mako. Just kind of fucking around. And it's super rare that we see makos out there.
Yeah.
Like, we see a lot of blue sharks on the patties lately, but they're usually like little fucking babies, and they kind of just, and then they go back down. But yeah, it was just a mako kind of circle, so she doesn't see it. Like, I'm not too worried about it, like whatever, So I get the fish, I'm like, all right, hey, come over, I was like, hey, just get in the boat, I'll deal with this real quick. I didn't want her to see it, like freak the fuck out, because it's kind of doing big circles, kind of just checking it out. Get the fish back on the boat, and then I was like, yeah, good job, fucking high five. Hey, by the way, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. So she's like, what? No, you're not. I'm like, no, you're right. Yeah. Yeah, dude, that safety is everything, man.
Totally.
So it's like, dude, you guys got fucking lucky. Now all my trips, man, I've got obviously my background, man, firefighter, paramedic, and you know, now very heavily as a captain in the yachting industry. But dude, I roll with a full kit everywhere I go, man. Tourniquet, quick clot, gauze, just about everything you need. Cause
you have to, man, because out there it's like the difference between life and death, right?
100%, especially like when we go like Panama and stuff like that. Like I'm, kind of going above and beyond. I'm bringing IV bags. I'm bringing just about everything because, when the shit we do, man, we definitely push the limits. We push a lot farther, a lot harder. Like we're going to spots where most people don't fucking go. Yeah. We're fucking, we're way the fuck out there. So, having that extra level of safety and comfort, knowing that, myself, whatever, I'm gonna fucking, me and you could be some goons and go do some shit with us. But, if we got people, clients and stuff like that, man. But it's good, man. You mitigated the situation. They were all good. Everything fucking worked out.
It definitely showed me a lesson to have more on the boat, right? Because at the time I didn't have a tourniquet. I didn't have an oxygen tank. It was like my first ever sailboat charter.
Fucking learning lessons.
I'm like, oh yeah. So definitely learning lessons, man.
Do you still have the sailboat?
I don't have the sailboat now, unfortunately. I got hit by a hurricane, refitted it. Then it either broke off anchor, or I think what happened is someone clipped the chain and they kind of gutted the whole boat, unfortunately.
No.
So that was kind of a bummer, but had a lot of good times with that thing.
But you only paid $1 for it.
I paid $1 for it in Ensenada. I contacted the guy on Craigslist and he's like, hey, he was selling it for like $7,000. I was like, cool, I'll pay for it, but I want you to come with me when we sail it down. And then he's like, no, well, I got someone else that's coming and they're going to buy it for sure and talk to you. I was like, cool, sounds good. And then like 2 weeks go by and he's like, hey man, I'm in a rush. I need to get rid of this boat tomorrow. I was like, all right, sounds good. He's like, sell you the boat for $1, but you got to be here tomorrow ready to set sail. I was like, all right, man, this is like one of those Craigslist scams. Like I'm probably going to get I'm going to get kidnapped, So I bought my ticket to Ensenada and I show up to the boat ramp for my $1 and I'm like, here we go. And I meet the guy and he's really, he's pretty cool. He's like, yeah, great. Hey, give me the $1. Here's the paperwork. We signed the paperwork. And I see him like putting 5 gallons of water in the water thing, right? So I'm thinking, okay, there's extra water on the boat. We're doing pretty good. I thought in my head he had prepared the boat correctly for the sailing adventure.
Oh my God.
That's what I thought. So the next morning comes, we take off and we set sail and we get out of the bay and he's in a rush to go and it's September, which is like hurricane season and lots of swells. And we go ahead and come around the bay and we start taking off and our original idea is we're gonna go to Baja Tortuga. So I told everybody, hey, I'll be 2 days max. I'll call you all. Well, we get out there, and it is a gnarly squall, dude. I mean, gnarly, and it's not a small one. It's like a 17-hour storm that we got to go ahead and waver our way through. And like, if we were to try to go to Baja Tortuga, I think the boat would have capsized. Like, the waves were just huge, dude, the whole time. And the auto tiller wouldn't work in this, so you're pretty much auto tiller handing it the whole time. And I just put my wetsuit on and my mask, and I grabbed behind the helm, and I just ripped it like that. And so we just, instead of going that way, we ended up going down the coast. And the way Baja works is there's like all these like kind of little like holes, right? And so we ended up 150 miles offshore, right? Trying to get to our next location. We're going to go to like Mac Bay area, but we ended up 150 miles offshore, far south. And this is like 3 days, right? So we did about 3 days and that's where we're at. And then the wind dies. I was like, all right. Wind's dead. Let's turn on the engine.
Oh, no.
Let's turn on the engine and we're going to start heading. And he's like, yeah, well, talk to you about that. I'm like, yeah? What's going on? He's like, well, I switched the gas tank and turned it into a water tank so it can hold more water. I was like, all right. And so we had some extra gas on the boat. I thought it was just extra gas. I'm like, so how much gas do we have on this voyage down the coast of Baja? He's like, about 10 gallons. I'm like, no way, we do not have 10 gallons of gas. You are out of your mind. Are you serious? He's like, yeah. At this point, I was getting sick too, right? So I'm getting sick.
Well, it's probably all the fucking water that was in a fucking previous gas tank.
Well, who would have thought? But check this out. I was like, hey, man, my stomach's not feeling great. what's up with the water? I saw you put some more in. He's like, yeah, I topped it off with 5 more gallons, but 2 years ago, I topped the whole water thing off, and then I just added the extra 5 gallons in there.
You gotta be fucking kidding me.
I was like, whoa, wait a minute. The reason why I've been pooping in that bucket funky all this whole trip is because we didn't flush the water system and the water from 2 years ago, and you put the 5 gallons in there to top it off. He's like, yeah. And I'm like, oh, no. So now we're stuck. The middle of the ocean, 150 miles offshore. I'm pooping in I'm talking about a Home Depot bucket with a toilet seat on is what I'm pooping in. Very bad. And we're stuck, right? And we're like just out here, like, oh my goodness. And like, you'll see some like of the commercial Mexican fishermen coming by and they'll come rip it over like, hey, what's going on? Because we have no sails up. We're just doing this, right? And they'll come teetering. I was calling them on the radio too. I'm like, hey, you guys want to come on over? They're like, you have beer? I was like, I got beer, man. And they'll come over. I'm like, you guys got gasoline? They're like, nah, diesel. I was like, oh man. Fuck. So I kept calling them all over. Didn't get any gas out of any of them.
Did you run out of beer?
I really gave all the beers away to the local guys coming around. Yeah. I mean, they had really good fish. Yeah. So I'm like, hey, here's a beer. Let's give us some fish.
Well, at that point, you're better off drinking beer than the fucking water.
And it's all warm anyways, right? Like the ice has melted at this point.
You get back, you're wasted, but at least you're not shitting yourself.
Exactly, right? So finally, it's like 2.5 days we're out there. We're just doing boat projects on the boat. I know everyone's freaking out about me because I've gone MIA and the wind picks up. And I'm like, oh, thankfully the wind picks up. And the wind picked up enough where it pretty much swept us all the way down into Mag Bay. Right, and so you're familiar with Mag Bay. You have 2 islands, Island Magdalena and Margarita, and we then sail into it. And I throw my anchor down. We're more on the Mag Bay side. I throw the anchor down and I call my captain. I'm like, hey man, I need you to come pick me up tomorrow morning. The boat is out of gas. We're out of fuel. We're out of water. And we're out of food. Like we're really doing really bad things. I'm eating like dry ramen at this point. And then he's like, oh, why don't you just motor the boat over here and it'll be cheaper for you. I'm like, listen, man, I'm not calling you to ask you what's going to be cheaper. I need you to come pick me up. All right, we'll pay for the full day charter. Just come get me and get this guy off the boat too. So I call the captain. The next thing you know, I'm like, oh, dude, I got to call my family. They're freaking out, right? My mom, my dad, all of them. All they know is I bought a boat for $1 in Ensenada and no one's heard from me in 9 days. This is all they know. And they're like,
were they calling fucking Coast Guard and shit?
Oh, yeah. My mom's ringing the whistles, my mom. And what ended up happening is my buddy Nick, they kept contacting him and he's like, listen, Angelo's a big boy. He'll be fine. And he knew deep down, he was like, oh man, he's on for an adventure. Like, he's going to be fine, but he's in for an adventure on this one. And so no one called the Coast Guard to come rescue us because our buddy Nick pretty much said, don't do it. Because if they rescue you, what are they going to do? They're going to take you off the boat and they're going to leave the boat. So I would have lost $1.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't just lose the $1.
And I mean, in hindsight, you should have fucking probably negotiated for like 50 cents.
100%. That sickness was worth it.
You should have got it for fucking 50 cents. You always got to negotiate.
So anyways, we get the boat there and I get the owner off. He was going to come with me on the whole trip. But what his deal was, he lived in China. He's been playing slip fees for like 5 years. And he just needed to get rid of the boat.
Oh, so he wasn't Mexican?
No. He's American living in China teaching English. But he just needed to get rid of it like that week because he was going back for a 2-year deployment in China for work, and he would have to pay another 2 years of slip fees on the boat. So we just needed to get rid of it, and that's kind of how I scored the deal. And so we got him off the boat. I'm like, hey, man.
You gotta go.
You gotta go, right? So he's off. And then my buddy comes in town, or my buddy was coming up there to go spearfishing. And he's like, hey, I'm coming to spearfish in Mag Bay for like 3 days. I was like, sick, dude. You want to come bring me a full setup, guns, mask, fins, everything, and I'll come with you? He's like, yeah. So we ended up going fishing out of Mag Bay. We filled up a nice cooler full of fish and ice and everything like that. And we then took the boat out. We were like, all right, great. We're leaving. We're going to go to Cabo. Cabo's the next step. So I filled it up with tons of gas, right? Tons of gas. And we're coming into Cabo. We're done. We passed the islands and we're coming. And we then run into a gnarly lightning storm where the lightning is just hitting down in the middle of the ocean. And I'm like, oh man, take the sails down, turn, divert. And I have to divert so far to get out of this. Because I'm like, we're the only boat out there. There's lightning everywhere. I'm like, it's going to hit our boat. Like, if I have to continue straight into that, we're going to be done, right? So we pretty much run the motor all night, all into the next day until it clears up, and then we get the sails back out and start getting into Cabo, right? It takes another like day or something from there.
Jesus Christ.
But at this point, we kind of like get in there, and again, we're running out of gas. Because it's two-stroke, it's just burning through these like little containers that we had. So we're like running out of gas. I'm like, oh man, good job, Captain. You know, this is great. You know, I got a friend on there. I got some friends on the boat with us, and we're like, all right, this is good. So we called another boat, and they're like on it's like these 4 girls, and they're on like a bachelor party or something. And we're like, hey, you guys want to give us a ride in the Cabo? And they're like, yeah. And we're like, great. So we throw a rope. We then go on there, like, you know, nice yacht. And then they take us into Cabo in style. We're drinking tequila, having sashimi the whole night. They take us into Cabo. They throw us right in the middle of Cabo. Now, you're familiar with the marina there, right?
Oh, it's a shit show.
Oh, it's a shit show. But we weren't going into the marina, right? We didn't call in or anything. I wasn't even supposed to be checking into that Puerto Capitan. I was supposed to check into La Paz Puerto Capitan. And so we get in there, and I throw the anchor, and you know how the water just kind of goes shallow and then drops down deep really fast?
Yeah.
Well, I throw the anchor, and I guess where I threw the anchor was on the drop, right? It wasn't a very good captain move that I did there. You know, a lot of lessons learned. And so I kind of threw it on the drop, and we're hanging out on the boat for like, 2 days, and we're enjoying Cabo, and I was like, man, this place is great. I had my buddy Garrett from Hawaii who was coming in town, him and Phil, and they're like, hey, we're going to come spearfishing with you. I was like, great. So what I'm going to do, so I'm going to leave the boat here in Cabo. I'm going to go spearfishing in Mag Bay for a couple of days. I'm going to come back. I'm going to grab my boat. So we go up there, we shoot some wahoo, we score, we love life again. I'm back in Mag Bay, a couple of days later. And we're like, man, this is awesome. I come back and I have a cooler, right? I'm coming out with the cooler and stuff, a little kayak. Come on, I'm going to go get out there to my boat. And the boat's going. The boat's going. I'm like, oh, that's weird. So what had happened is the wind switched where the boat was like this towards the beach, and the wind switched and it turned over, and I put 55 meters of chain down, and it dragged off, and the anchor was just dragging. Went past the arches and just went out to the middle of the ocean. But I had no idea. So I go to the Coast Guard, and I'm like, hey, Coast Guard, someone stole my boat. And they're like, no. They're like, someone didn't steal your boat. They're like, we heard the report of a boat in the middle of the ocean. We'll go find it. I was like, all right. So they go out, they find it. I hire a ponga, go out, get the boat, got to pull in 55 meters of chain in the middle of the blue, and then sail it back in, and I anchored it correctly that time.
I mean, you got lucked out.
Yeah, I got lucked
fucking,
out.
like, went that way, not the other way.
Just went right past the arches, just drifted away, dude. So then I got the boat, brought it back to La Ventana, and I was cruising on it for like 2.5 years, sailing the Sea of Cortez and having a good time with it until that one of the hurricanes came and took out like 48 boats. They didn't take my boat out, but it did a whole bunch of damage to it. Just like all fiberglass ripped up, stays all torn apart, everything. Mizzen's twisted, like just did a lot of damage, refixed it. Then it got like kind of ransacked. So that's kind of the boat story.
Damn, that's gnarly. Bro, you've always got to call me Angie stories, dude. Yeah. There's always like some gnarly stuff, but I love it, dude. Yeah. Your adventures are fucking phenomenal, man. You're telling me about the one where you're in the Red Sea and you ran into an interesting group of people out there in Egypt that,
yeah.
Give me that one real quick, dude.
I'm doing freedive training in Dahab, and I have some friends, and they're Bedouins. They're in the Bedouin tribe, and they're all really cool. We have like this group of friends of like expats who are there, and they're like, yeah, we're going to go to camel race, Angelo. I was like, great. What's camel race? They're like, the camel race. I was like, sure. They're like, great. Be here, 7 a.m., hop in the truck. We're going to camel race. I'm like, great. We're going to be out there for 3 days. Well, they take you in the middle of the desert, man, right? You get into the middle of the desert out there, and you're out there, and everyone has their prized camel in the back of their Toyota truck, right? And everyone has the sick Toyotas out there, right? Like the really cool Land Cruiser-looking Toyotas, and they have really cool trucks. And you get out there, and you're driving, and then we had our camel that were kind of like wanted to win, and some other camels from different tribes and stuff. And they're like, all right, 6 o'clock tomorrow morning, we're going to start the camel race. I'm like, great. At this point, I had bought, a headpiece and everything, so no one knew who I was. It was pink, so I stood out a little bit, but it's okay.
You bought a pink like head wrap.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, so I was a little standoutish,
Yep,
you know,
yep,
but
yep.
totally, I was all wrapped up. You know, you could never even tell I wasn't a Bedouin.
Yeah.
And so then next thing you know, you're in the back of the truck, you know, and they give you an AK-47, and you're like, oh, yeah, well, what's going on here? And they're like, yeah, the camels are racing this way. We're going to shoot up in the sky, and we're going to yell, Yalla Habibi, and the camel's going to go faster. I'm like, all right, this is great. You're running around, just shooting AKs in the middle of the desert. It is so funny. What a trip. Like, once in a lifetime experiment, and I would totally do it again. But yeah, it's their tradition, man. Like, they have money on it. It's like a gambling, like a horse race. But it's their tradition, and it's just really cool. And they just go out into the desert and just kind of shoot guns up in the sky and let their camels race. And at the end, they're all sitting out there, and they have like 50 cows and everything, and everyone's shooting for the winning team and celebrating.
Man.
But really good people, man.
Yeah.
Really good people. I have to tell you, like, I wasn't expecting how hospitality they were, and just really nice as well. So
That's crazy, dude. Whole nother world, man.
Whole other world. So if you ever are in Egypt in January and someone says go to camel race, go to camel race as soon as possible.
I love it. Well, awesome, man. Well, hey, how do people get a hold of you if they want to come and check out La Ventana and come and do some diving or some adventures out here in La Ventana?
Yeah, easy, man. We got like a website on there, and also like Instagram and Facebook. It's called La Ventana Dive Center. If anyone's ever interested in coming out, shooting some fish, or kind of doing scuba diving or safaris, just holler at us there, and that's probably the best way.
Awesome, brother.
Yeah.
Well, cool, man. Hey, thanks for coming on the show. We really appreciate it. This has been another episode of the Pushing Limits podcast, guys. Feel free to check out and follow Angelo on social media as well as the Pushing Limits podcast. And we'll see you next time.
Exactly.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, boys.